It's another cold morning around the farm here. Luckily, all the ridges through the muddy yard are frozen right now, so you can see those trucks hammering around. We are planning for doing some updates off the back of the dryer here in the next couple of weeks, and we're hauling out our last 10 loads to the local co-op here. We finished hauling to the ethanol plant yesterday. I'm willing to bet $100 that Anna gets up and trips the door. Oh no, she went the other day. I'm out $100.
Well, we've flown around the second time in that bin, so now we're going to be really slow to get down to the one sweep floating there now.
I didn't realize it was that far around already.
I didn't either. They were both further down than I thought this morning.
Well, we can start pulling faster out of the GSI.
Yeah, if we want to, or if we're not going to keep track of the bushel flow.
Right. We're actually down now. After this truck, we've only got 4 more trucks to load to fill our contract. And then we've got maybe probably 10 to 15,000 bushels, which is like 11 to 16 truckloads left of total corn in the bins. Roughly, that's guessing. But these last few trucks are going to be a lot slower to load because we've only got 1 bin running. Because the rest that are tied into the leg are empty. We've got a little bit in the back bins, but for now, the rest of them all just look like this. So you can see we've got the sweep running over here, which is always a little bit slower than just running it out of the sumps, but this is our pile for the day. Believe it or not, there should be 3 or 4 truckloads there yet. Jim should be back before too long because it's not a very far haul and we don't have many loads, so I'm just going to leave that one parked there for him at the moment. You see all these really convenient ridges that are now frozen, but they're all over the place from driving trucks through a muddy yard. They've actually dried a lot overnight because as it freezes on top, the moisture goes down a little bit. So I think I'm going to hook the box blade up to the 6175, and I don't know, with them frozen right now, it's not going to work very well. But if they unfreeze at any point this afternoon, it might be a nice day to try to level some of this off. Especially being hopefully our last day of hauling for a while, or hopefully the yard actually just dries up some. What are the odds that the dog comes running out of the shadows when she hears this fuel pump turn on? I don't see her anywhere yet. She must be hiding in the warm garage. I know it's cold. Come on. Sorry. Hopefully, we're done pulling the neighbors out. They're finished getting their feed truck stuck over by the hog barn. I'm not entirely confident that we are done and that that is the case, but I'm going to take the rope off anyway so I can put the box blade back here. Now that's a heavy-duty Yankum rope right there. Kinetic energy. Works every time. You can get your own at the link down in the description. As long as I got this thing fired up and I can get to the bucket, I may as well put that on. Because once we are out of snow season, which I hope we are, we don't actually ever put anything on other than the bucket. Even if it were to snow at this point, I don't think we'd be pushing it around with the snow pusher. One truck back, and since we're loading so slow today, I may as well go get that started so at least it's partway loaded by the time Dad gets back here with his truck. And frozen tire ruts are rough in anything. But in a skid loader, they basically make it so you have to have surgery on your kidneys afterwards. See that 8260 right there? We're gonna sell that, but more about that in a little bit because I gotta make sure this truck doesn't overfill. That's gonna take a bit. It's coming out of there pretty slowly. Locked. Loaded. Definitely could use some new, well, there's a wear piece here that's pretty well wore out. Same with the cutting edges. Definitely could use a few parts and pieces at some point here. Let's see if we can do anything with it here. We're a little frozen, but hey, it's knocking the edges off. That's going to be a lot nicer to drive over. It's hard to say. I'll go in there in a little bit here when I move the truck, but it'll probably run out before the contract's full. So you're probably okay to take some out of that bin.
Okay, I'll pull one more load out of here and then we'll see where we're at.
So we have a truck loading back there and one loading there, both loading relatively slowly. But I think this one that I started is moving painfully slow. So I'm gonna go in there and check on the sweep. A lot of times when it gets to the end, the corn pile isn't tall enough anymore to keep flowing down, so you kind of gotta stay in there and push it, keep it moving. You just kind of gotta feed it into there. Let it flow. This one is really slow right now.
It gets really slow at the end, and this sweep is slow anyway.
Yeah. This one is loaded. Dad's gonna take it so it's out of the way for when Jim gets back here. And he's got another one loaded around a corner, so Jim will take that one when he gets back, and I will load the final load of this contract. So then we'll be done for the day. The last one of the week, or maybe the month, depending on what we do with the rest. We'll run this sweep around a second time on the floor because the corn's about a foot deep roughly here. We'll run it around a second time, get it down to just that floor level. Get as much corn out of here as we can, but we're gonna have to be in here to nurse it along to keep it moving. And yes, that sound you hear is a bearing out on the end of the auger. And we'll finish loading back there. Huh. Looks like it's a good thing it ran empty when it did. I knew exactly how much was left on there. I figured we'd be a couple inches shy. Huh. There's supposed to be corn coming out of here. Turns out you gotta actually open the sumps in order to get corn out, and then it works. The truck's loaded. I moved it, but I forgot my camera magnetized to the side of the bin back here, but what is that from? What's broken? Do you know what it is, Anna? Here, see what it smells like. No, you can't take it away. Just tell me what it is. No, stop, jeez. What kind of a critter wants to chew on an aluminum housing? I should probably go to lunch and think about it. Hello. You recognize this at all? It's supposed to be in one piece, I'm pretty sure.
Is that the brake for the clutch?
I doubt it. It was laying underneath where we park the trucks back here when we load them out of this bin.
Is Jim still here?
He hasn't come back yet. That truck is full. Oh, I'm not thinking much. I'm hoping.
We know that.
I hope you're thinking.
We know you don't think much.
Hey,
What?
you can't insult me. I'm the camera guy.
Oh, what's up?
What is that?
Looks like a half to something.
What were you,
Well, here I have the other half.
Yeah, I see that.
what were you telling me about this morning when we were talking about the brake on the clutch? Didn't you tell me they come in two pieces now and you can slide them right in there?
Yeah, I believe so. I think so.
What do they look like?
I have no idea.
Well, you can. This
think-
is
I think
supposed
you do
to
now.
be able to come apart. It's not supposed to break there, but it comes apart.
Yeah.
Can you weld it?
Crazy glue.
Look at the dog making a nice bed on the corn stalks over there. Is that comfortable, Anna? We don't know for sure what that thing is, but we're relatively confident it might have something to do with the clutch issues that we've been having on the Kenworth that Dad just took the last load with. So I'm gonna run, make a couple stops, grab some lunch. Yeah, the same. So that's a clutch brake, you say?
Yep.
That's what. That's exactly why the truck doesn't go into gear worth of shit. Yep. All right. Well. Suddenly the sun is out. The birds are chirping, and it's cold out, but this isn't so bad. I'm gonna bring the 8295 in here, which is new to us. It's a 2014, but Dad bought this tractor, that's why he's gonna be selling the 8260. But first, we wanna pull some weights off the 8260 and put them on the front of this thing. This tractor's only 1 year newer than the 8260, but it does have the IVT transmission, the ILS front end, and the front duals, and a little more horsepower. So it is gonna be useful for a few more things. The 8260 just kind of fell into like a weird spot where suddenly it just wasn't really enough horsepower for a lot of the things we're doing on this farm, and it was too much horsepower for like rock picking and grading the driveway and stuff like that. So this is the 8260. These are the weights that we're gonna be moving over onto the newer tractor I just put in the shed. This tractor is, I believe, a 2013. I'd have to look to see how many hours that are on it. So I'll go ahead and do that. We've owned it for several years, but we don't put too many hours on it. It's done some grain cart work. It did pull the planter at one time. I believe that was when we had a 16-row 40-foot wide planter, not the 60-foot planter. I thought about just checking the hours on it, and then I'd actually wash it here, but it's too cold to actually do a good job washing it right now. I believe those are the hours right there, 2057. One doesn't want to let me change that. Pretty sure that's correct. 2057 hours on it. I think I'll just pull it in the shop, nose to nose, and swap those weights. I gotta remember how this works. Done it before, but it's been a while. Ah, yes. It's coming back. One. Two. They're not bad to carry from one to the other. It's the sliding across the piece in the front that gets a little more difficult. I really don't want one on my toe. They're 103.6 pounds a piece. I don't even know how many there are. 3, 8, 12 of them. 1,200 pounds. A little over. Final one. Oh God, I got my hands dirty. Hey, why not? Why wouldn't something go wrong, huh? So obviously, I most likely screwed the threads up in this one. Luckily, I think I can just flip, swap, and mount them. So now instead of using, I gotta think this through again. So those are the threads that are bad. So I'm gonna move this one to this side. I I need a little Jeopardy music here while my head spins. Okay, I've got it figured out. I just got to flip-flop them, swap sides upside down, do this, do that. I got it. But to hopefully make that not happen again, I'm going to add a little WD-40 Specialist Penetrant spray to it. Make sure those threads are clean and lubricated, penetrated. And to be sure I'm covering all of my bases, now behave. Two things everybody needs in their life: duct tape and WD-40. Not all heroes wear capes. Some of them wear dirt track racing shirts.
I almost forgot, for those of you who might be interested in the 8260, which we're cleaning up a little bit more right now, taking the monitors and radios out of it, that is going to be on an upcoming Steffes auction here in early May. So if you're interested, check out the Steffes auction website. We'll link it down below.
It's sunny out, like really sunny. It's still not very warm out here, but I think I'm gonna scratch the ruts in the driveway while they're dry on top, and they're obviously, maybe it's not obvious to you guys, but they're not frozen right now. And believe it or not, we're supposed to get some rain in a couple of days here. So the nicer this gravel is at that time, the better things are gonna be.
Said I love your show and was wondering if you
Much better. And now with it being so sunny, that is going to dry off a little bit, except for spots like this. But this is going to be way nicer tomorrow. Hopefully it'll firm up a little bit. This is pretty awesome. A lot of people have been asking how far we are behind compared to normal, and honestly our normal starts probably roughly May 1st, I believe, as I record this. Oh, my watch died. I believe it's April 26th today. Yep, it's April 26th as I record this. And so right now, if we could start planting today, we're really not behind, but with the forecast the way it looks, and the frost honestly still in the ground, and the soil as wet as it is, we're probably looking at least a week behind at this point. Maybe 10 days before we get started. I mean, it'll really depend a lot on what happens here over the next, week to 10 days. Things can change in a big hurry. As you can see, just like with what changed today and how much has come along, but we're behind, but it isn't terrible yet at this point, but we are going to start now at this point hurting yield. That's the big thing for us. The corn that we put in, it isn't gonna have as much heat to dry down. It's going to be a little bit slower. So if it gets a slower start, it's that much farther behind in the fall. It can't take advantage of the heat units later in the summer. Typically what can happen, the biggest thing is we end up having to run that dryer more. We have to harvest the corn at a higher moisture. We may start looking at pretty soon trading in a box or two of our corn for an earlier maturity, going from like a 99 day and trading some of our 99s in for 92s, 93 days, meaning just an earlier maturity corn, so it ripens faster and can start the dry down process. But we're maybe a little, those conversations are starting to happen with farmers right now, it seems like. In the meantime, the school bus came in and turned around and the kids are home, so I'm gonna go say hi to them before they run off to their evening activities. I got a few more things I want to do around the yard, so thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it, and look at the weather. Videos are going to be coming more, faster, better, soon. Okay, thanks. Keep it between the rows.
Digi. Just let me pet her. Let me pet Didge.
All right, I'll give you a pet too.